In this video, we're covering 10.6, which are plane curves and parametric equations. Parametric equations are two functions, usually the function of f and the function of g, in terms of an interval t, or time. Number one, sketch the curve by plotting the points over the interval. So here's our interval of t. Place the arrows indicating the increasing values of t. So let's go ahead and do this. I'm going to do this by just graphing a table. And we're going to have a t, an x, and a y. Okay? So our t is going to be identified by our interval. We're going to start at -3. And I'm going to do intervals of 3. So I'm going to do -3, 0, 3, 6, and 9. Okay? So I'm going to stop at 9 because the interval says to stop at 9. The other thing I want you to notice is that -3 is not included. So this is going to be open circle. Okay? So this is going to be our open circle. All the other numbers will be included because the inequality includes the equal sign. Okay, so all I'm going to do now is plug in my t into my x value and then into my y. I'm going to do all my x's first. So -3 divided by 3 is -1. 0 divided by 3 is 0. 3 divided by 3 is 1. 6 divided by 3 is 2. And 9 divided by 3 is 3. Okay. For my y, I'm plugging my t as well. So -3 minus 4 is -7. 0 minus 4 is -4. 3 minus 4 is -1. 6 minus 4 is 2. And then 9 minus 4 is going to be 5. Now I have my x and y points. I'm going to go ahead and graph it. And I'm disregard this part. Okay, this is an open section, and this one will be included, and all the other ones will be included. So I'm going to go ahead and include the other ones. Right? -1, -7, so -1, -7, open circle here. 0, -4, closed. 1, -1, 2, 2, and 3, 5. Okay. Use my ruler. And I'm going to start here and go in that direction. Okay. I'm not going to go beyond this point because my limits go up to 9. As far as graphing our direction, notice that when t is 0, we're located here. And then as t increases, we're going in this direction. So I'm going to say that my direction is like that. Number 2 says to eliminate the parameter t, we're going to sketch the curve and then indicate the orientation. My goal here is to go ahead and write it in one equation instead of 2. So I'm going to solve for t. In order for me to do that here, I'm going to divide both sides by 4, and I'm going to have e of t is equal to x divided by 4. These two cancel. Okay. It really doesn't matter which side you solve for. You can solve for e of t on your x, or you can solve for your e of t on your y. E of t on the x was simpler, and now all I'm going to do is substitute what e of t is equal to into the other equation. So here I can say y is equal to -3 e of t, but instead I'm going to use x over 4 plus 4. Okay. This is going to be my final equation. Notice that this is a linear equation. I have a slope of -3/4, and my y-intercept is going to be 0, 4. Okay. The other thing you need to be aware of is notice you're not given any restrictions. Over here, we're given the restriction between -3 and 9. But over here, you're not given any. So what we need to do is consider what our restrictions are. I'm going to go back to this equation here. And remember, when we're given our restrictions, what we're trying to do is go ahead and solve. So what I'm going to do here is solve for t to see what t can be. In this particular case, what you need to do is you need to apply an ln to both sides. Remember your power rule, this will come out to the front. So I get t is equal to natural log of x over 4. In this case, what does your natural log graph look like? Well, if you don't remember, it's okay, but it's coming down like this, all right? X cannot be 0, nor x can be negative. If you need help verifying that, let's use our calculator. I'm going to do natural log of 0, okay? Domain error. That means x cannot be equal to 0. What about a natural log of a negative value? Let's natural log of a negative 2. Domain error. So x has to be greater than 0. Okay? So let's go ahead and graph our points. I'm going to start at x is equal to 0. I know y would be equal to 4, so 0, 4 would be here. Notice I'm using an open circle. I'm using the open circle because x cannot equal to 0. That's our restriction. Our slope is negative 3/4, which means I can go down 3, 1, 2, 3, and forward 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Here would be my next point. This would be okay, and then I'm going to go down again. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3, 4. Here would be my next point. So now I can go ahead and finish this graph off by connecting the points. It can continue after that. Our restrictions would obviously start here and then go in that direction. Number 3, we're going to do the same thing. We're going to eliminate the parameter t, sketch the curve, and indicate the orientation. So first thing we want to do is pick which equation and solve for t. T is going to be easier to solve for in this first equation. I'm going to divide by 8 on both sides. So I get t is equal to x over 8. Substitute this equation into the second equation. So we have y is equal to negative 6. T is going to be x over 8 plus 4. So y is equal to negative 6 over 8. Simplify this. It'll be negative 3/4 x plus 4. Okay. We have a slope here of negative 3/4 and a b or a y-intercept of 4. So 0, 4. Okay. In this particular equation, it's linear. There are no restrictions for t. In this equation, it's also linear. There's no restrictions for t. So here t has no restrictions. So now what I'm going to go ahead and do is just graph the line. Okay, 0, 4, right here, it's included. And then I'm going to go down 3 and over 4. So 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3, 4. Here's my first point. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3, 4. Here's my second point. Okay. When I draw my line, I'm going to make sure to include all points on the graph. Okay. And now all we're going to have to do is go ahead and find our starting. So what I like to do here is go ahead and do t, x, and y. I'm going to use t as my starting point, and we'll use 0. And I'm going to plug in my 0 here, which will get me a 0 and gets me a 4, which I expected, which is right here. Then what we're going to do is go ahead and increase our t to a whole number. I'm going to go ahead and use 1 and see what happens here. In this case, I get x is equal to 8. Y would be equal to negative 2. So if I go out 8, negative 2, there's my point. So I'm going in a direction like this. Number 4, all I'm going to do here is substitute my x into the equation x here. So I'm going to have y is equal to 5. X is equal to 2/5, so I'm going to put that here. 2/5 t minus 2. Okay. Now simplify. Y is equal to 2t minus 2. Okay, and that's it. For part B, we're going to do the same thing. I'm going to have y is equal to 5x. In this case, x is 2t plus 5 minus 2. Okay. Now substitute and simplify. Y is equal to 10t plus 25 minus 2. So y is equal to 10t plus 23. Okay. This will be our second equation. So our x will be these, our y's would be that. Number 5 says to write the parametric equations for t to define the given graph. Okay, so here we can have multiple answers, but we're going to make it really, really simple. First, let's find the equation of this line. Okay, I'm going to start by determining our slope. If you go forward 1, you go up 1, forward 1, up 1, forward 1, up 1, forward 1, up 1. So here our slope is going to be a positive 1. Our y-intercept, our b, is going to be 4. So if I were to write this equation out, I would have y equals x plus 4. So then I'm going to go ahead and define it in terms of t. Okay. So the first thing I'm going to do is let x equal t. Remember, you can set x to be whatever you want, so might as well just set it equal to t. That makes the y so much easier because all you're going to do is substitute your x with the t here. So y would equal to t plus 4. And there's your equation. This concludes 10.6 and Unit 5. Please let me know if you have any questions.